cousin, Big Reec, baby. Check it out, y'all. What it look like? It's your main man, Fabulous, man. I'm holding it down with
Reec. My brother, Reec.
Reec.
The homie Reec. You already know, man. It's Taylor Gang. I die.
Who you with?
Reec.
Yeah. Who you with?
Who you with?
Let me go ahead and start hitting this hype bell now, man. We got my guy right here. We're going to be talking about the real virus in the black community. We're going to be talking about all the stuff that we need to know about health. And we also going to find out who his Taylor is. He might be the best dressed person in the medical industry, especially when it comes from the holistic standpoint. We got Dr. Martin Benjamin, as y'all know him as Dr. Amun is in the building. What's up, my brother?
What's up, my brother? Nice to hear.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you back. Good to have you back in the show.
Oh, it's good to be back, man. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, sir. You
Absolutely,
know?
absolutely. Last time you came, man, we had like a 2-hour conversation.
We might have the same length of time
might.
today.
We
Who knows,
might.
boy?
We talked about so many things within things that were like, detrimental to our health and the black community, especially when it comes to the reproductive system with females and things that you think are regular but aren't.
Right.
You get bad advice and you go with it, then it creates these prolonged health issues and chronic issues. And you gave us all the game, man, so we appreciate that. But now you got some more to say. You and your partner, Dr. Jessie, she's here in spirit.
Yeah, Coach Jessie, she was really trying to get down here, but they're doing something with the airlines and the flights have kept pushing back, getting delayed and rescheduled, and she just wouldn't have made it here in time.
Yeah, I know. Delta, I think they're picketing right now.
It's Delta.
The pilots are picketing today, so she probably got caught up in the middle of that.
That's what it is. Okay, that's what it is.
Yep. So let's jump right into it, man. For those that don't know, that are just tapping in and tuning in, please Google this man. Check out his website, dramun.com. Make sure that you Google him, find out. You see all his credentials. He's trained under Dr. Sebi. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He saved many lives, included his father. We kind of jumped into that last time we spoke about.
Yeah, that was actually my first client, my dad, when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and that was a scare. But we got over there, did some things, and he's in the best of health. Just turned 72 this year.
Wow, man, hit the bell for that.
You know what I mean? He's in a great bill of health. Great bill of health.
That's awesome,
it's
man.
It's a blessing.
To be able to save your father from prostate cancer through the things that you were able to go out and learn, I just want to know, how did that make you feel, man?
It was like a mixed emotion, because it's like what you know, right? And there's a difference of knowing and then executing.
Right.
And even though people like trying to say that they're really close, they're really far apart, because everything you know better or you know about, to when you actually go and execute it, you get obstacles or curveballs thrown in the way, and it's like, well, this wasn't in the book. This wasn't in the playing. You know what I mean?
I didn't learn this in school.
I didn't write. So you got to take that on board. So at some point it gets a little nerve-wracking, right? And obviously the connection, the emotional connection with my dad, it's like, I got my mom there as well, and everyone's worried, and my grandma. So it's like all lights are on you. Like, spotlights on you. You got to perform. So
fix it, right?
You got to fix this. You be talking all this, you be telling us all this. Now it's show and prove. And luckily, man, I just stuck with what I knew. I had to make some alterations with him because everyone is different. Yeah. And that's been over like 16 years now.
Wow, man.
He ain't missed a beat, man. Wow. And he, like I said, he's 72. He turned 72 this year. And he's still going, bro. He's still going. He tried to get a little intimate with me. And I'm like, Dad, save that conversation. Right. But I'm glad you're still rising to the occasion.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Right.
Y'all read into that.
Right. So that was really good. And just from there moving forward, I was, able and blessed to affect so many other people's lives in that way. Yeah. But like I say to people, I'm just a coach on the sideline. Yeah. You're really doing all the work yourself. You know what I mean? Like, he lives in another country, so he had to apply everything I told him. He had to go and do the exercises. Yeah. He had to go and do the shopping. He had to make sure he was cooking and preparing his food this way. He had to make sure he was, changing his whole lifestyle. So when people are doing that, that's why I say you heal yourself. You're your own doctor. Yeah. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your healer. I don't do it. I just give you some advice and information on the sideline. And I'm still learning myself. A wise man knows he knows nothing at all, right?
There we go.
So, all the credit goes to the people there. And that's why I tell, a lot of my clients with women and men, I say to them, you put in the work. You need to give yourself a clap on the back. When you get those results, your fibroids are gone, your endometriosis is gone, prostrate's gone, high blood pressure, diabetes. You did that.
Yeah.
You got to be proud of yourself for doing that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's like my mission statement, man. That's what I put out all the time.
I love that, man. I like the way you put it, like I'm the coach. It's just like a player. You go to these skills development. You want to learn how to dribble and shoot, I'm going to give you the drills, but you got to go and do them and really work on them. Right.
Exactly.
I can give you the blueprint, but if you don't put the brick and mortar, it's never going to be a building.
It's never going to happen. And that's what, the scary part is everybody knows what they need to do, because we know what's wrong and what's right. You know, we know when we're not eating right. We know when we shouldn't be eating this or indulging in this. But like I said, that point of knowing what's right and then doing what's right, a lot of people speak about it like it's so close together, but it really isn't.
It's not, especially when you have habits, you got cultural situations,
There you go.
You got family that does a certain things for so long, and it's like, how do you break away from that?
You see? And what really exposed that was the pandemic. Was that virus, was that COVID. That's what really brought a lot of health issues, bad habits,
to light,
racism to the surface, and unfortunately exposed these charlatans within our black community too. Everybody was looking at Dr. Fauci's. Well, we had a lot of black Dr. Fauci's.
Yeah, we did.
in our community.
Not great information, and
not
we saw
great
it
information.
was exposed.
And it was, for me, it was purposely done. And they were making money and capitalizing on it, and it was a real horrible time.
Yeah.
I mean, I got COVID myself.
Yeah.
I got infected, but I had a very mild experience down to my lifestyle. And
Same
everything.
here. Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to really capitalize on that. Think about it now. The position where I'm at, what I do. Everyone was like, "What did you do? What did you take?" I mean, I could have literally formulated something and said, this is the answer to COVID.
Right.
Don't take the vaccination. Don't do this. Don't do that.
Right.
Right now, I could have been a millionaire.
Yeah.
I could literally have been a millionaire.
Because you got, just put it in perspective, you're known to cure diseases, STDs, all types of things in our community, right?
Absolutely.
People look at you, you're in a high profile position, right?
Right.
And then you can sell it. You
Right.
can sell it.
Exactly.
Right? And then you're a first-hand situation. You had COVID. You cured yourself. So
Absolutely.
People could really look at you and go, okay, whatever he says, I'm going to do and make millions off of it.
And I was on certain platforms like this.
Right.
Breakfast
Huge
Club
platform.
and
Breakfast
everything.
Club, all type of,
to say but it's like you have to have integrity, man.
That's it.
And that's what is missing within our black community. There's a line that has to be drawn. And one of the things that I noticed through the pandemic was that there was no lines drawn. There was so much of pointing over there. Look at the establishment.
Yeah.
Look at the conspiracy. I used to call them conspiracy parrots because it was like you just kept talking, but you had no facts to back it up.
Yeah.
This ain't a joke. This is people's health. This is people's life.
lives, businesses, livelihoods, families.
And what I was experiencing was people calling me, and they were losing family members.
Yeah.
Like I had close friends that lost family members. I had family members that died, cousins and that, relatives. I had just a bunch of people like, heartbroken because there was like, the virus ain't real. Don't do this, don't do that. And it was just so much misinformation. And what I tried to do is say, look, whether you want to take your chances and, don't get vaccinated and ride this out and be careful with the virus, or you want to get vaccinated, then I just presented education and right information for both. Because I don't think it's fair. I never would agree, like mandate, force someone to get vaccinated. Right. What the hell is that? You don't do that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Free country, you're supposed
right.
to have,
you don't do that. But what you need to know is the pros and cons. Well, there's no pros when there's a virus, right?
Yeah, right.
And you need to know the same about the vaccination. So I always said, look, this is what you need to do. Inform yourself. Educate yourself about the virus.
Yeah.
Understand how you're living. If you've got a suppressed immune system, how dangerous that can be if you get infected with this virus. Change your lifestyles. You don't want the vaccination, fine. but this is what you need to do in your lifestyle.
Right.
You need to do A, B, C, D, etc. Then there was those that, and I don't agree with this again, that was forced to get the vaccination.
Right.
Because of their work.
Right.
Some people had to travel because their mom was in a different country, or father, or just, join. And the countries were like mandating you have to be vaccinated before you could come in.
Absolutely.
So they had to get it. So then they were like, well, what type is that? Am I doing the Johnson & Johnson? Am I doing the Pfizer? Am I doing the Moderna? So now educate yourself on which one is the best choice to make out of those. So I had to, that's what I was presenting to our people.
Makes sense.
Educate. If you have to take the vaccination, know which one to take. And everyone was like, well, are you pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine? I'm like, no, I'm pro-information.
That's it. And that's what I think mostly everybody needed, especially during that time. We needed information. We didn't need to split the nation based on whether you want to get a shot or not.
See, everybody was focused on the wrong things for me.
Yeah.
Everyone was focused on, is the virus real?
Right.
Is Fauci Illuminati? Is the government trying to, and Bill Gates trying to do population control and everything, right? So for me, it was like, well, you guys are missing the ball here. My beef with the administration and the health was not one time you saw a health specialist, coach specialist address the nation.
Yeah.
You got people now at home, can't go out.
Yeah.
You're on lockdown, quarantine, right? There is no one advising them on what to. All you was giving people was stay 6 feet away, wear a mask, wash your hands, and that's it. There's a virus out there killing people.
Right.
That's the only thing you're giving me?
Right. Is it say 6 feet away? But if I go to a restaurant, I can take my mask off to eat.
You see what I'm saying?
Like nothing was adding up.
So, but then you had like these epidemiologists that were trying the hardest to push this information to the powers that be. Right? Whether it was through Donald Trump's realm when he was the president, and they just wasn't educating us. They just wasn't giving us the information. So now there's a virus, it's killing people. You didn't have a health specialist or health coach, not one time address the nation on how to eat, what you should be eating, what you should stop eating, how to exercise. This is why you should, you see what I'm, there was no coaching for, there should have been a channel. There should have been a program. Like at least 2 to 3 times a day being run.
At least.
This is what you need to eat.
We can change this nation right now.
This is what you need to stop eating. This is the exercises you need to do. Talking about health, healthcare, getting sunlight. There was nothing around that.
I swear you're saying a lot of things that are truth. Like we had a vitamin D specialist come on during that time, and he was talking about the importance of just getting outside, what time to get outside, because after 3, you don't get the same amount of sunlight. It's not the same. He was talking about at least get active. If you don't want to work out, at least go walk and do something.
Absolutely, movement. So vitamin D plays a huge role in your immune system. Like, did you know it was 15 times worse for infected COVID victims? With vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D played a major role in your immune system to tackle any form of infection, whether it's COVID, because we're getting attacked every day by different pathogens and bacteria and viruses, and our immune system. And this is leading me to another point where the vaccination comes in. So, all right, Reece, I'm gonna give you a scenario like this. You're a DJ. You're in a club. You had some beef with some dudes. These dudes are the virus. All right. But now, the club that you're playing at is the host. Our body is the host, right? You're the mechanism inside there that's
I'm making everything work,
making everything
move.
Work, right? Everything move. Now, you go to your immune system, which is the head of security, and you give them pictures. These are the dudes that I have beef with. If you see them roll up, don't let them in here. So you're detaining them to some degree, right? But you're also informing them. This is what happens. So now you got your first line of security, which is like the first line of your immune system, the innate system, which is outside. So they're checking the line to see who's coming in, right? Because again, like I said, we're getting attacked every day with pathogens and bacteria. So we got to let them in for our immune system to work, right? To be robust. Then you got inside security, which is your adept
Right.
There's the second line of your immune system.
I like this breakdown right
All
here.
right,
We can
so
all
you're
get
with
it,
me, right? You're getting with me.
Right.
So now, what happens is this. You got the virus, which is the guys you had beef with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they can walk in the line.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them walk in the line because popular
Right.
guy. You have beef with
Right.
you don't have beef
You
with
don't
one
know who,
individual.
but it's a lot
you
of
have
people.
beef with a lot of people.
Right.
So now they're coming in the line. Some of them are coming in the line. The security sees them straight away. Deterred. This is your antibodies now. Remember, your
Right.
security is your antibodies.
Right.
Part of your immune system. Boom. They're informed. They see it. Bam. So the information that you're given is the vaccination.
Right.
All right?
Right.
So the vaccination, the mRNA, is giving information to your immune system about the spike protein that now gets distributed in the bloodstream, and then it starts building up the antibodies. So they know to look for this virus.
Right.
So now your security on the line, the first line of defense, you still with me?
Right.
They see them.
Right.
Deter them. They don't get in.
Right.
No fraction. But some of these guys you got beef with, some of them are a little bit more creative. This is what we call variants.
Right. They put on a mustache.
Put on a mustache, but maybe not even put on a mustache. Maybe they want to do a drive-by. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now they drive by, shoot up the damn place. So now your first line of defense is being injured.
Yeah.
And then they bomb rush the door so they get in. But you got your second line waiting for them as well.
Right.
But guess what's going on? You've been infected. They've got into the building.
Yeah.
But you ain't got a disease because the second line of security is ready, takes them out.
Right.
It's all about timing and being prepared, right?
Right.
Now, just imagine you got some real beef with some real secret service agency guys.
Some snipers.
They're not
Right.
coming in that way.
Nah,
They're coming from
through
the
the
ceiling,
roof
the
and-
back way, and they start taking out everybody.
Right.
And they're standing in front of you and say, right, we got you now.
And you got a security system that is weakened because
See,
they're not strong enough.
Now you're looking at the suppressed immune system.
Right.
You see, or you might be suffering some underlying health conditions. So now the security system distracted. So the underlying health conditions,
Right.
this scenario
Security's
is security
underpaid.
looking at women with big booties, distracted.
They're underpaid.
They're all underpaid.
They don't have coverage.
Right.
They don't feel like protecting us today.
So now the time factor of when your body gets infected is how quickly your immune system responds with antibodies to the effect.
Wow.
So you don't get the disease and, come into a critical situation.
Right.
So that scenario I paint, a picture, is what I was saying to people.
Yeah.
You can understand that,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I mean, listen, that man just turned COVID to the club. Let me hit the hype bell for that. we know
Right.
how it works now, just based
now
on
you
that.
know how it works. So now what I say to them is that, all right, you don't want the vaccine. You don't want to take the vaccination. You want, and that's just a scenario of how the vaccination will work because it prepares the body. Now, when the virus starts having these different variants, the viruses are intelligent. And this is the thing. When people have to understand about viruses, like I said, when you look into the epidemiology, it's so wide. It's not just dealing with like the physical, your physiology,
Right.
the virus. You got to deal with the economics. You got to deal with the social life. You got to deal with the dynamics all around that country.
Right.
So, for instance, if you got a third world country with one airport that has 2 flights a day, maybe
Everybody's seeing
a
everybody.
population of 3,000 or 5,000 people, 10,000 people the most, and COVID or monkeypox, whatever the virus is, breaks out there, you could kind of suppress that.
Yeah.
But what happens if 2 or 3 infected people out there takes one of those flights that comes into a state like the United States
Right.
that has
Like
hundreds of
Atlanta.
airports,
Right.
and millions of people, over 300 million of population, millions of people coming in and out.
Right.
And now they get infected. Those 2 people who are infected come and start infecting. Now you've got a pandemic.
Yeah.
Now you need to shut things down.
Right.
So, not trying to divert, but when people start saying viruses were made in the lab, viruses are man-made, this was done by the government, they don't understand. They don't understand how viruses work.
Right.
They don't understand epidemiology.
Right.
They don't get it. I'm not an expert in that, but I understand it.
You understand how it works. It's like how certain diseases may be in one place and just for that place. But if somebody travels, they may not show any signs. They travel and they're on a plane with 30 people.
There
Right.
you go. And they're asymptomatic. So now you turn around and you infected the whole population. So sometimes these viruses are fast enough and intelligent enough to break through your immune system. And by the time your immune system gets the antibodies ready, now it's too late.
Yeah.
You're not just infected, but you've got the disease, and now you're suffering.
Yeah.
And if you've got some underlying health conditions,
You're doubling down.
I mean, now you could be in a critical situation.
Right.
But let's flip it on the other side. You don't want to take the vaccination, right? And you're beefing up your security.
Right.
You know, you're getting some real smart dudes, not just muscle, but
Right.
some real
Savvy.
martial
They know
arts.
to look. They know to make sure the roof is
Right, they
protected.
want to, right, and they want to, you know, they're going to have a dynamic of like a mile out. So they see anybody or 5 miles out coming in, and this is you now working out, eating right, training, building the immune system. Boom, here comes the drama. So now it's a full-scale war going on
Right.
from outside, in the club, boom. But guess what? You hold your own.
Yeah.
You hold your own. Boom, you get them out. You know, you get some of your security guys got
Right.
a couple of black eyes, a bit abused, but no one ain't dead.
Right.
The club ain't torn up.
Right.
Party goes on.
Right. And the building is still
And the
up.
building is still up.
Right.
Bills are still getting paid. But guess what? The preparation had to go. That you
Yeah.
had to select particular security guys. You had to have a strategy. You had to be prepared.
Yeah. I said this to my daughter the other day. I said, life is basically two choices. You have the things that you want, and it's going to come with some type of sacrifice, some kind of uneasiness to get there,
There
right?
you go.
But the alternative of that, if you don't want to do that, it's going to be an extreme uncomfort.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So now, these are the people I don't want to get the vaccination. I'm just going to live a healthy, clean life and have natural immunity. And that's fine. But know what you have to do.
Yeah.
Know the risks, but know what you have to do. Know that I'm going to be in a fight.
Yeah.
You know, these dudes turn up at the club, we're going to scrap.
Yeah.
And things can get heated. But I'm doing everything to prepare myself.
I'm prepared, yeah.
You know, and this is what I present to my clients. This is what I present, the truth, the data.
And that's what people appreciate.
I don't want to get caught up in the misinformation.
The
like all of
popularity
these,
contest.
you see, you know what the thing you know what it exposed? People who got credentials, people who got certifications.
Yeah.
Man, that don't mean nothing. And I'll tell you why. Because they already got an agenda in their head.
Yeah. It's
Right?
like a doctor that's got a contract with a certain pharmaceutical company. He's
There you
pushing
go.
drugs he's pushing certain drugs.
And then
I've
you got certain experts that they're racist or like I said, they have their own agenda.
Yeah.
They're egotistical.
Yeah.
They don't care about anyone besides them getting Nobel Prizes and being the best. So they got their own agenda. So all of those letters and certifications behind their name don't mean nothing because they were giving wrong information out purposely.
Yeah, and it makes total sense because you said the same way a place with 3,000 people is not going to be the same information for a place with 100 million people.
But this is what they were doing.
Give a blanket information.
They're giving blanket information. They're talking, and I'm like, wow, you are a endocrinologist or you're a neurologist. You know, you're an expert. You've been in the field for 20-something years.
Yeah.
But I'm listening to you talking, and the information you're giving is absolutely wrong. Why? Now you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah.
And again, to bring it all back around, the main stuff that was missing at this time of the pandemic was correct information.
Right.
A guideline. Like, you know, the woman from the CDC, the spokeswoman, she's come out and she's apologized and everything. But then that's been taken out of context.
Yeah.
You know, they've been putting videos and they're saying, oh, look, I apologize. But she's apologizing. If you watch the whole interview.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do, and hardly nobody does.
Right.
We take clicks.
Right. But she's apologizing because she was like, we could do a better job. And she actually said something that was I thought was real interesting, and it was honest, and I respected it. They didn't know it. They've never had to deal with this before.
Right.
Everybody was new to it. You know, it was a new experience. So they dropped the balls on many occasions.
Right.
And she admitted that. But she said, you know, we'll do better next time. or if this, hopefully there isn't the next time. But
Right.
if it is, we'll do better. That now has been taken, and there is so much videos being made. I'm getting all this. Look at that. They're apologizing. They're saying this, that. They're saying this.
Right.
I'm like, what? Then Fauci's retiring on his birthday. The man looks like he was gonna die anyway.
Right, the man looks like 167
106,
years old.
like, come on,
Right.
let the man retire. But now he's like, oh, he's retiring because he knows the damage.
Right.
Bro, stop it.
Right.
Stop it. And that leads me into the real virus
Right.
in the black community.
Misinformation.
Misinformation.
And
Misinformation.
emotional,
Hit that red button, boy.
emotional information.
Emotional
information will
And-
get you every time.
Listen, these conspiracy parrots, these pseudo guys, self-acclaimed nutritionists, naturopathic, holistic, herbalists, etc. They're gonna hurt someone.
Yeah.
And I believe some of them have hurt people in our community.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is this. There is a known fact that we as black people have been through one of the worst traumatic experience that any other race can
Of
put their
all
hand on.
time,
Of
right.
all time, right?
Right.
We know this.
And that's
we
not
teach
being
our children.
unempathetic to anybody else's
Right,
plight,
exactly.
but we know our history.
We know our history
It's
and
been
our story.
whitewashed as well.
Exactly.
And even now we see the effects
We
of it.
see it even
Right.
now. There's two Americas.
Right,
Right?
right,
There's
right.
two Americas we're living in. As a
Right.
black man, I tell my children already, the conversation that we have to have with our children, even to get in a car and drive it,
Is totally
is different
different.
to other races.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
My youngest son, 18, just got his car. And he's been pulled over. And he's only got I think it's a Toyota Camry.
Right.
But he's been pulled over twice.
And he just got his license.
He just
I
got
know
his
people
license.
that have never been pulled over.
And I've been telling
But
him,
they're
like,
not black,
bro,
let me put
you're a
that
black
out
man in America.
Right.
And worst of all, you got these damn braids in your hair.
Yeah.
Right. And you got your seat all the way
Right.
back. But so we know this, right?
Right.
We know our history. We know what we're living in, even current, even present today. We know what we're going through.
Right.
And these guys in the conscious community ride and play on this.
Yeah.
And they articulate their words. They
Yeah.
speak with some
Such eloquence.
eloquence.
So
they
woke.
use big medical terminology, right? And they're convincing. And
Yeah.
some of them have charisma.
It's like a fine line. They say it a lot of times. It's a fine line between a preacher and a pimp.
Right.
Right.
I like that.
Right.
I'm gonna take that. Right. So
Please to use it.
so now, and that's what they are. They're pimping our people.
Right.
Because they're coming out and they're pointing the finger at the white man. They're pointing the finger at Bill Gates, the pharmaceutical world, pharmaceutical industry. And they're criticizing, pulling holes out of it. And they're doing things like this. They got products out there and they're not even exposing the full ingredients out there. So now you're buying a product that you don't know what's actually in it.
Right.
So if you got any form of allergic reactions or
Yeah.
allergy, you're exposed.
You're
You
stuck,
don't know.
Right.
You're
And
stuck.
that's the same. It's even worse than if you take the vaccine and you have an allergic
But here's what
reaction.
the funny thing is. With the vaccination, they were like, what's in it? Everyone wanted to know what's in it.
Yeah.
You know what? Chris Rock said it the best. Stop going on, and he said it to black people. Stop going on like you're interested in ingredients. Because
Right.
when you go to that damn store and you shop, you ain't reading what's behind. You're like, oh, that's
You looking
chicken.
at you looking at that cereal box. It might have 3. If I can't spell pronounce 3 of those ingredients, I'm not getting it. But
One. If I can't pronounce one.
dextromethorphan.
Right. Methylol.
Right.
I'm like, nah, bro. No.
I didn't know cornflakes had methylomethiol in
Right.
it.
I'm like, come on. I'm not doing it.
But I get it. Like, why are we worried about the ingredients?
Right.
And once we find out, we still gonna do
Exactly.
whatever we're gonna do.
But
anyway.
what's dangerous is that within the black community and these guys doing this, you got these people saying, oh, this is our intellectual property. Well, there's a difference between ingredients and your formula.
Right.
So as a herbalist, I'm a professional herbalist.
Yeah.
I'm working on to be a registered herbalist by American Herbalists Code,
Let me hit the
right?
button for that, man. Shout out
And
to you.
I got to go through a 4-year training course. I'm doing it in the Boston School of Herbal.
Nice.
Right? So I'm going through that now. And the thing is this, is that when you have a product, you have to be fully exposed. There has to be transparency.
Yeah.
You have to let someone know what's inside it.
Yeah.
You also know that your ingredients is not your formula. Okay? Your ingredients are just the list
Yeah.
of what you're doing. Your formula now is how you do it. I'll
Right.
give you another comparison. Your grandma.
Yeah.
She makes potato salad.
Right.
She gives the ingredients to your sister or to
Yeah.
your wife.
She
They
get that
make it.
measurement messed up.
They ain't making it like grandma,
Nah.
right? And you're like, what? And it's because they'll be like, nah, I add a salt at this particular time
Right.
and this amount.
Right.
This is
And
her
it makes a
fault.
difference.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is the formula. That's your intellectual property, not what you put in it.
Yeah.
There's that. The second one is when you hear we're designing supplements that are ethnic genetic for black people.
Right.
What? Wait a second. So this burdock root, you're gonna now formulate it just for black people? How you do that?
How do you do that?
I want to know that.
Now, this is the issue I have with that. And I say this to anybody. How do you formulate it just for black people when most black people have another race inside them if they're from America? Because a lot of our people were raped,
Not
and
even
that's
America.
how you get my complexion.
Or my complexion. I
Right.
ain't from America.
That's what
Around
I'm
the
saying.
damn world.
Right,
This
right,
is what we go back
right.
to. What
Right.
was happened to us.
Right.
We were raped and mutated
Yeah.
all around the planet, wherever black people reside. The four corners.
Right.
They came for us. So that's why you have different shades. Right. But that's an excellent point. But not everyone thinks like you, right?
Right.
So they see this is like, oh, this formula or this product is just for black people. Boom, boom, boom. How do you do that?
And it's just like why I can deal with spicy foods if I'm from a certain part of the world, but if I come to this part, it may be a different type of spice.
Exactly.
right?
So
We're built
now-
different.
So there's that, right? So you're not being transparent. You're not letting everyone know what ingredients that you have in your product, which is very dangerous.
Right.
Right. And it's also a FDA violation. Secondly, you're selling this dream about the product is ethnic
Base.
based or ethnic formulated
Right.
just for black people, right? Because us as black people, we want to hear that.
Yeah.
We're dying.
It's for me.
Yeah, we want to be
and that's-
special.
And that's a play on another thing with us. We don't have anything for us per se.
There you go.
So we're looking for that. We're fiending for that.
Well, you do now.
Right.
Myself and Coach Jesse.
There we go.
And there's a
Right.
few of us out there. I'm not the only ones. There's a few of us out there, and they are really doing some good work in
Right.
the black community. The next thing is, oh, we metabolize different. Black people metabolize. What?
We're the most obese
So,
people
so
in
well,
the
well,
United
let's
States.
just back up for a second.
Right.
Because again, they use medical terminology,
Yeah.
and to the average person, it goes over their head. They
Yeah.
don't know. When you know about metabolism and how that works, it's on a cellular level. If that works any different, then how could a white person actually get with a black person? How
Yeah.
can any race?
We wouldn't be able to procreate.
We
with
won't have
each
to
other.
procreate.
So that's why I say
So-
I got chickens, right? So I have chickens, like
Right.
real live chickens, and they come in all different colors. They lay different color eggs.
Right.
When I crack that egg, every single one is the same. Every single one tastes the same, unless they eat something different.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
So now,
On a cellular
on
level,
a set,
they're
right?
the same.
So it's like we there has to be some form of similarity or
Right.
or chemical mechanism that is familiar for the semen to travel
Right.
to fertilize the egg, right?
And if let's say a black person, white person, make a baby, right?
Right.
If that baby is able to procreate, we know that they're the same on a cellular level. Because
Come
it
on.
doesn't work like that. Like
Come
a
on.
horse and a donkey can procreate, but that child cannot procreate.
Procreate.
Right.
So now, these are excellent selling points, though. You have to understand.
Yeah. No, I get it.
When you're saying, "Listen, I got this here for you, man. This is ethnic, genetic, formulated for black people.
Right.
Black people, we metabolize different. Black people, all of these things we want to hear. This is boosting our ego. We're
Right.
special. Now, don't get me wrong. We are special.
Absolutely.
We are special,
Right.
and we're different to some degree.
Very, very much so.
Right?
I'm very resilient.
But
So I'm not saying that.
The
but
reason
yeah.
why we say balance, like myself and Coach Jesse, we have a mission statement saying, balance, because we understand everything in our body has to be balanced.
Right.
Now, let's just back up a little bit. How many siblings you have?
Me, myself, I got 3.
3, right?
Yeah.
So you guys come from the same gene pool. You eat the same food from mom and dad. I guarantee you, including your mom and dad, all of you are metabolizing that
Absolutely.
differently.
See that with my kids, right?
Your sugar levels are going to spike differently. Your insulin levels are going to spike differently.
Yeah.
It's going to have a different effect, right? You be there, your brother or your sister might be gaining weight if she's that. You
Right.
eat it,
I'm good.
I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But you're from the same gene pool, bro. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, when we're dealing with people like with fibroids, and I don't mean to divert, I'm going to still
No, because the information
when we're dealing with women with fibroids, there is a gene that is in not every black woman, but in most.
Yeah.
The polymorphism. So this is a variant of a single gene, polymorphism, that affects how her body reacts to estrogen. Okay. And it can up-regulate or down-regulate it.
Yeah.
Right?
Gotcha.
I can't go too much into it
I get you.
to lose, but the actual gene that gets affected is known as COM1. And this is responsible for the metabolizing estrogen. Yeah. So not every black woman has that variant of polymorphism, but majority of black women have. And that does make them more vulnerable, right, to uterine fibroids, to having uterine fibroids, right? But uterine fibroids is caused by a number of factors, not just estrogen dominance. Yeah, vitamin D could be responsible for women. Vitamin D deficiency could be responsible for women having uterine fibroids. Right? Stress, endocrine disruptors, right? Hormone imbalancement. Right? Even there's a condition, what they call hyperinsulinemia. So there's insulin resistance and then there's hyperinsulinemia, which where insulin resistance is where your insulin is being spiked. So the pancreas is sending out insulin, right? And it needs to be acknowledged back. So it's like you calling to one of your daughters, but they got headphones on. So you're like, hey, they ain't hearing you. Then you have to yell, but you keep yelling till you get a response. That's insulin resistance. Until they get that acknowledgement back to the pancreas. Like, we're good. They're going to still keep sending. Right. And that's insulin. So this insulin resistance. But hyperinsulinemia is when your insulin stays high. It doesn't come down. It just stays high. All of these things, this is like diabetes of the uterus. This is what also can cause uterine fibroids. Gotcha. So there's many different angles that it can come. So let's go back to what we're talking about, the real virus in the black community, where this information is not being taught like this. Where it's like you metabolize different.
And that's the first time I've even heard that. Right, that instance, and I have 3 kids, 3 daughters, right? 4 daughters. I should know that information. That should be common knowledge.
Exactly.
As a parent.
So you know, you when we have clients that come in and women that come in with uterine fibroids, you know, they might have the blood work done and the hormones checks done. Their estrogen levels are perfect, but they still have uterine fibroids. What are you gonna say then? Right. You see, and then let me drop a little bomb. Estrogen sets the stage. But you know what grows those fibroids? Talk to me. Progesterone. Because they found in the fibroid, they have receptors of estrogen and progesterone. Progesterone gets elevated, right, or accelerated when there's estrogen dominance present in the body. And that's what grows the fibroids. So
one thing that would cause the estrogen dominance might be a birth control or something like that.
Birth control will do that. Stress will do that. Bad diet will do that. All of those things play a factor on how your estrogen can be affected. Gotcha. Right? Yeah. But your estrogen could be perfect, but you're vitamin D deficient. So now that could play a factor why you're getting uterine fibroids. You see what? So
it could be a multitude of things, and that's why, like you say, I don't try to cure a disease. I try to help the person, because that person, everybody's different.
That leads me to the next thing. What I was about to say. Everybody's physiology is unique to them. Yeah. How the calorie intake and output is different. Yeah. The secretion of hormones is different. Right. Your exercising or your workout levels are going to be different. Right. You might work out for 20 minutes. I might work out for an hour. You know, you might, but the workout that you do is intensified in those 20 minutes. I'm just strolling along, you know,
but you're there for an hour, right?
You see what I'm saying? Everyone is unique. It's different. However, it's a simple thing like when you turn around and you say to, and this is another thing, another virus in the black community, everyone should be vegan and plant-based.
Talk to me about that. And
Come on.
This is what we're going to kind of end this on, because I need to know this, because me and my dad were having this conversation yesterday about just dieting and what does what for different people. Because I was like, the biggest, largest animals in the world are vegan. So we can't just say, just because you eat plants, you're not going to get big.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, you have to understand that's genetics.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, everybody, again, has their own individual it's like the physiological blueprint is like a birthmark. It's unique for you. Yeah. Right? So you got to find out, and you have to understand the metabolism controls you. You don't control the metabolism. Everyone was like, you want a fast metabolism. No. You want a flexible metabolism. Okay. Yeah, you want a flexible. Okay. Because through your life, you're going to change on how you eat, how you work out, your environment. So you want to make sure your flexibility of your metabolism can adapt to those changes and those alterations. Gotcha. Now, when everyone says to be a vegan and plant-based, let me tell you this. I have hundreds of clients. Yeah. And I see their faces. And when I say this, right? Now, don't get me wrong. when someone comes to me and they got like fatty liver or they got some kidney issues and that, I tell them, you got to slow down. We got to kind of get off the protein because kidney and liver finds it hard to metabolize protein and breaking it down. So if they're compromised, already, now you're putting excess pressure on them that they don't need. So in certain situations with certain health conditions, I'm going to recommend you need to be a vegan or plant-based to at least we get this situation resolved and under control.
Reset, your system reset.
Right. So now, when you go and do study, there's no actual scientific data that proves that meat is bad for you. We know junk food. We know processed food. Right?
Fake meat.
We know all of that. But actually like grass-fed beef, free-range, organic chicken that are not injected with steroids like hormonal growth steroids. Right?
And they're feeding the pesticides used on the farms as well. If you know your food.
And then they're not deep fried or covered with butter and lard. You know, they steamed or baked or boiled. And then they have the certain amount of portions and servings are done and equal balanced off with vegetables. People are being healthy. Yeah. And I've had women that's heard me talk like this come back and say, man, do you know why I stayed away? Because you tell me, and it was hell. Yeah. So I'm eating food and I'm upset and I'm miserable. Right. You ain't gonna heal.
Right. No.
You're not gonna heal.
It's all in clumpers, and that's what you're saying. It's gotta be mental, spiritual, emotional. Yeah.
All fits in. So now they've come back and like, yo, Dr. Amun, I can do that. Yep, steam that, steam this. Compromise. And within months, read, their health situation has improved. Wow. Fibroids gone, shrunk. High blood pressure normalized. Diabetes off insulin. Yeah. Obesity, they've dropped in 20, 30 pounds after 4, 5, or maybe 6 months. Yeah. Weight, not water. Not water, fat. They're dropping that down because they're eating healthy. So I'm not saying all in the black community, you got to be alkaline, and electric, and then, you know, electric food. Yeah. Listen, a piece of chicken, everything has a frequency, a currency. So everything is electric, right? So what's making this electric food? Right. If everything, that beef has a currency, has a frequency. So it's electric. That beef chop is electric. Yeah. Now, that's another thing they're doing. A lot of people, when they become vegan, they get iron deficient, they get B12 deficient, they get protein deficient, and it's so hard to become protein deficient. Yeah. But what happens, and then they suffer with gut issues, and I'll tell you why. Because they're trying to balance out their protein intake by eating so much legumes, right? Chickpeas, lentils, black beans, and they're very hard or harsh on your digestive system. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yep. But they're like everything they're eating, rice, quinoa, millet, beans, chickpea. You see what I'm? Yeah. So you got to understand each individual has to have their own personal journal or food or meal plan.
Everybody gets to the destination differently. You need your own map or GPS or whatever you want to call it.
So when you hear someone say, everyone should be plant-based, everyone should be vegan, black people don't, and this even goes back to Dr. Sebi, bless his soul, but he was wrong. There was a lot of stuff that if Dr. Sebi was still alive now, he would have to recant and re-educate himself and come out different
Yeah.
because he will be wrong. And I love the man. I knew him personally. I know
Yeah.
his family. I have so much respect in that.
Right.
But wrong is wrong.
It is.
I ain't going to stand up here and say, no, he was right.
Well, one of the greatest coaches in the world was Dr. Naismith, right? Created basketball. But now his approach to the game would be different because
Absolutely.
it changes. We get
Right.
more information.
And
So,
I
yeah.
believe if he was still alive, he would have switched
Right.
up another
And
stuff.
you just said it early. You know a lot, but you're ever learning. So some of the stuff you may have said 2 years ago is different than the way you approach things now.
Absolutely.
We all do that, and I think we all deserve to give each other that grace.
Absolutely.
Right.
So with this now, this is the virus that is really plaguing our black communities. The misinformation. And it's done purposely because they want to make money.
Yeah.
They're not trying to heal. They're not trying to help.
Yeah.
Do you know through the pandemic, myself and Coach Jesse, do you know how much products we gave away? Do you know how much money, like me and my fiance, do you know how much money we cashed out to single women that didn't have anything and sent them products?
Wow.
This is what it's be like. Look, you got to love this.
Yeah.
Because herbal medicine, holistic healing takes time.
Yeah.
So you have to have patience, you have to have dedication, and you got to love it.
Yeah.
This is nothing that happens overnight.
Right.
This ain't like, you know, a rap or making another single, right? Where you get all the clicks and all that. You get them coming out, we're the greatest, no one does what we do.
Right.
No, let your work speak for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need to come, I'm not great. I'm not the best at nothing.
Right, but look at
my
the
work
people
will
that
speak.
I've
Let my
helped.
people speak for me.
Yeah.
Let my work be shown. You know, let Coach Jesse's work be shown.
Right.
There's so many people out there. Let their work be shown. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen, and they went under the radar because it's like they're so humble.
Yeah.
They're so beautiful, and they got a bag of knowledge.
Yeah.
Bag of knowledge, and they are just like, we don't need to be in the limelight, but they're doing some serious good work for us and in our black community.
Yeah.
And these are the people that I said to them, look, I'm going to bring you on.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you come to the front line.
That's it.
Now, I don't want, no, your work needs to be shown.
That's it. And I mean, that's just an ode to what you do and who you are. You want to save the world and save your people and anybody who needs saving. And it doesn't have to be you to do it. It's
Exactly.
just about the knowledge.
Exactly. And, you know, when I realized there was a serious pandemic in our black community with obesity, one of the things I designed like 2015 was the 14-day water fast.
Yeah.
And we launched that off on 2016, January the 1st. So last year was like 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Do you know how many of those kits? Now, I had a lot of celebrities do that, you know, from Waka Flocka and etc.
Right.
DJ not Envy, Angela E, sorry, and that. But I gave away that because a lot of people that obviously was obese was catching the virus.
Right.
And they needed something. They didn't want to get the vaccination, but they needed something to help. And that's why I said in the beginning of our conversation, I could have been a millionaire over the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I was giving that away, and I was letting them know this is not a cure. This is not a substitute for the vaccination. This is not going to stop you from getting infected with COVID, but this will beef up that security.
Right. Help that immune system. So
Help
you
that
can fight
immune
it just in
system
case.
to fight it, and you know, give you a couple of options moving forward with your lifestyle changes.
Right.
Because, you know, let me give you this other thing. Another one. People don't understand the difference between detoxing and fasting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the black community, you gotta detox for this, detox for that. Well, tell me when the body doesn't detox. The body detox. There's a difference between fasting and detoxing. Detoxing is involuntary. Your body is constantly detoxing. When you're sleeping, it's detoxing. When you wake up, everything what we're doing today, we're detoxing.
Right.
Because we urinate, perspirate, defecate.
You're sweating. I get it. I
Right?
understand. Right.
So we're constantly. Fasting is when you sustain from eating or drinking for a length periods of time.
Right.
Now, the only time when your body really fasts and detox at the same time, you know when that is?
No, talk to me.
It's when you're sleeping.
Okay.
Because you ain't eating or
You ain't
drinking.
eating or drinking, but you
your
might be
body's
sweating and doing-
right.
yeah.
But your body is still going through a detoxify process. So you have what they call the circadian rhythm. But your organs also have a circadian rhythm of their own. So there's times when they start the detoxing process.
Got you.
There's times when your organs react to when you're eating. They're starting another detoxing program.
Gotcha.
They're not detoxing 24/7 all the time.
Got you.
But there's things that you can do to enhance that and to support that by eating vegetables, fruit, even certain meats, animal protein. You got to know how to
Right.
prepare it. That will help your body to detoxify correctly.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Then there's fasting, and the absence of when the fasting, you're basically now giving your whole system rest and time for it to repair.
Right.
And when you're doing that, you're now trying to fight. Like I recommend the fasting when people have some chronic illnesses and conditions going on, or they want to attack something aggressively.
Yeah.
I then give them several different choices of how to do fasting because it's different.
Yeah.
But in the community, what we find is that there's all of this detoxing. And they don't know what they're talking about. And it's dangerous. If it's done incorrectly, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And, you know, I pick up a lot of the slack. This is one of the reasons why I have a beef with this is because I'm picking up people that, I spent thousands of dollars. Right? On this detox program to eliminate this or detox this, and it didn't work. I actually had diarrhea. I actually had to go to the hospital. My condition got worse.
Right.
You know, I have to pick that up. I'm finding that as time goes on more and more, and I do it. That's my job.
Yeah.
But one of the things I need to say to our black community is educate yourself. When you see this stuff on the website, and they're selling at these extortionate prices, but they only got 4 or 5 ingredients that you could go to 7-Eleven and buy your damn self. Ask yourself, is that all that's in there?
Yeah.
And if so, why is it so expensive? Because it's only got 5 or 6 ingredients in there. Start asking these questions. Expose them. You know, because that's the real virus.
That's it. Misinformation. On that note, we're going to chop this thing up, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Man, I appreciate your platform all the time. Again, I do have to say this. So we do have a couple of things coming out.
Yeah, talk to me.
So we released last month our endo for women who are suffering with endometriosis.
Okay.
That's been out there. We've been getting some great results. Women have been like noticing and feeling the difference in their symptoms.
Right.
And so that's out there. But in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would say, we're going to be releasing End Fibroid, our End Fibroid program, the whole new set of like meal plans.
Yeah.
We have a 30 recipe book right now.
Okay.
End Fibroid recipe book now.
So we can still get the chicken the right way.
Well, this one is for strictly plant-based and vegans, right? And that's out there. But the whole kit is coming out. We're going to have different types of Qigong exercises, new supplements, education manual, everything to go with it.
Nice.
And then we know that everybody's just got back from vacations and that. So they may be overindulged with, traveling to different countries, being on vacation, eating out, which, they're going to have fun.
Right.
So we actually have a special now with our fasting kits.
Okay.
Our 30-day and 14-day fasting kit, water fast, and 30-day fruit fast is out there now. So 15% of that with people. And this is why we have the low prices, because we know what's going on with people and their pockets.
Right.
So we had to have affordable prices as well. We only do the sales for first-time buyers because we want to show you some love, as you come through the door and that. But those are the things. So look out for the fibroid kit. It's going to be phenomenal. And what I usually do is send out test packages out.
Yeah.
And I have, my little controlled little lab rats.
Right.
And they I shouldn't have said that. That's bad.
I know what you mean, though, right.
I've been getting great. Before I put it out to the public, I try and get it tested as best I can. And again, this is the thing that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get your product tested. It's supposed to go through the mill, because you're going to stand on it. That's what I stand on. I stand on my product.
It's called integrity.
There you go, integrity. We stand on our product. So just look out, man. We got a lot of things coming up. We're ending the year strong. And I'm telling you, we want to make sure that all this myths and this virus in the black community with these charlatans are going to get it.
Yeah.
They're going to be exposed, and we can't have it. we need a vaccine to stop that in the black community.
But I think the
me.
vaccine for misinformation is providing information.
Absolutely.
And then also to do it in a way that people where it makes sense. And I think you're doing that. You and Coach Jesse, your partner, doing that.
Absolutely.
On great levels. We appreciate every time we see you on all platforms, but our audience appreciates it when you get to come through here. So, man, thank you.
No, thank you for having me, man. I'm truly, I like what you're doing. You know, you've been there, like I said, from when we first met 2 years ago. You're a stand-up brother. So, again, you know, it's an honor and a privilege to be on your platform, sir.
Appreciate
Thank you very
that.
much.
Tell everybody where they can find you at and where they can get these products to check out.
At the detoxnow.com.
Okay.
The detoxnow.com. The real detoxnow.com.
Let me hit the bell for that. Make sure that y'all check him out. And I did not know that was your name, Dr. Martin Benjamin.
Yeah.
Dr. Amun. I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
All right. Good luck to you and everything you're doing. Guys, stay
Thank you.
tuned. We got Sheen Magazine coming through in a second. They got a big award show. We're going to be chopping it up with them on the streaming side. On the radio side, we getting back to this mix. This is Reec Radio.